Gennady Golovkin, Danny Jacobs is officially set for March 18th, 2017 at Madison Square Garden in New York. Wow. Great news for boxing fans. There's been a lot of back and forth between both sides as far as making this fight. But most people were really confident that was going to happen. Everybody, after the first reports, after the Brook fight that it was coming out, people knew that was going to happen. But to see it officially now, this is great news. There's so much you can say about this fight. I just want to talk about the basics real quick. Just a couple of things, key points. First, I think this is the best fight to be made at 160, so you can't start off the year better than that, aside from Triple G Canelo. And second, Danny Jacobs is the best opponent that Triple G has faced thus far. It's crazy. I've seen Triple G's rise from the beginning, and when he first came to America and fought Gregors Proxa, and then all those fights. I mean, it's been 3 years. All the fights that he's had. Now, it leads to this. This is the biggest test for him. This is a true test. Danny Jacobs is motivated. He wants this fight. We already know Danny Jacobs is a fighter. He's a warrior. Everybody knows his story. But now he's got a big payday, and now he's on a national level. Yeah, he fought Peter Quillen on PBC, but now this is gonna be Triple G. 20,000 people, Madison Square Garden. Jacobs is from Brooklyn. He's a Brooklyn guy, and I'm sure his fight versus Quillen did well. So just now imagine the fans and the audience that he's gonna bring in with him to Madison Square Garden against all the Triple G fans. I mean, it's a perfect fight, really, to be made at MSG, and to just kick off 2017. Now, and this is what also want to say too, that this is the biggest opportunity of Jacobs' career for sure, but also too, gone are the days where there's a Triple G fight and everybody knows what's gonna happen, but they just want to see how. How's it gonna knock out Curtis Stevens, Matthew Macklin. No disrespect to those guys, but most people, a lot of fans going into those fights, they thought it was going to be easy work for Triple G. They wanted to see him fight, a better mover. Somebody who's got a better punch, somebody who's got a combination of both. So gone are those days. Now I think we're going into this fight. It's going to be crazy. This is the type of fight you go to. I don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. And, I've been to a couple Triple G fights, and I've seen the fight versus Gil and Lemieux. He's obviously bigger now than he was back then. He wasn't as big back then. And then on top of that, those crowds were electric. I saw those fights live. Lemieux's not that well known in America, yet alone New York, especially Gil, the Australian. And those crowds were crazy. The crowds was crazy. It got you so hyped up. You knew what was gonna happen, but the atmosphere got you into it. It was electrifying. Now with Danny Jacobs bringing his Brooklyn crowd, and fans from New York, and then all those Triple G fans, it's gonna be crazy. It doesn't get much better than this. After we had Kovalev Ward and then Walters Lomachenko, finishing off 2016 with news for a fight like this. It's the type of stuff that we dream of.